Hey everybody, welcome back to another Jakl post-game podcast. I am your host and president, Daryl Keith Hendon, aka the Fairweather Rugby Fan. And we got quite a bit to talk about, but before we get into that, we've got a couple of things we got to say, some announcements as always. We will be back at home, Choctaw Stadium this weekend, Lot L. There's no baseball interfering with it, so it won't be Lot E, it'll be Lot L again. Come on out to these tailgates. We've had some good turnouts, we've had some bad turnouts, but it's always been a great time, even if it's just a couple of us sitting around in lawn chairs, having a few beers, and just having a good time before we go in to watch some rugby. Also, the link is underneath the video. Jakl Den merch. I just got this one myself. I had to get the baseball cut. I just like the baseball cut tees. I don't know, that's just maybe my thing. My fiance has gotten the bucket hat and a t-shirt, man. Go on there. The merchandise ships. I was like kind of on top of it. It took about 10 days to get here, so go on. Reach out if you're looking at the scarves. You've seen them. Reach out to Rick Collins. Those will be sold through him. I'm looking to get those. I've just got some other things. Looking to get a house with the fiance, so I'm just trying to save a few bucks here and there with that. So, yeah. Go online, get you some Jakl Den merch, and support the fan club of your favorite team. So let's go ahead and get into this. Obviously rolling solo dolo on this, and this was pretty much determined during the game that nobody really wanted to do this video, so your president, who's totally okay with doing these solo videos, has jumped in to do this one. 61-19. God, that was ugly. It was so bad that I turned the live stream off in like the 6th minute of the second half. It was just that bad. We were in it. It was real, quick start to the game, man. Dan Kroll gets the first of his 2 of the day, 5 minutes in, but less than 2 minutes later, Moroni answers back, gets over, but Elias kicks good for that, and it was, 7-7 that early. And that was the closest the score ever got. It was all Seawolves. After that, Riekert Heading, their captain, number 8, the USA Eagle, Riekert Heading, having a hat trick before even heading to the sheds at half. Dan Krill with a pair. 46th minute, Adrian Carlsa, who assisted on one of those, I think it was Heading's third or his hat trick one. He could have easily scored it. He offloaded it to Heading, let Heading get the third of the day. Adrian having a field day out there and basically just letting us fans know that, hey, we probably, the coaching staff made a big mistake there, I think, in letting him go, because we saw how dynamic he was playing for the Seawolves, how they let him play his style of the game, and it made the whole team better. So, like I said, 3 tries coming, 2 from Moroni, 1 at the 7th minute, 1 at the 78th minute, and the other try coming from Namibian international Adrian Boyson after an absolutely beautiful run by Danny Christensen. We'll have to kind of circle back around to him here in a moment, but oh man, I hate making these like negative videos, but it was painfully obvious from the whistle blow, especially after we scored that 1 try. Seattle knew what we were going to do with the ball every single time, and you could go back and watch it. It was Imhoff out of the back of the ruck, off the right boot, either into touch or directly to one of their players, or we would try to sort of chase it down, but not really, or an offload to Tincho Elias, who would kick it into touch. And you can go back and watch the videos that every time it went out to Elias, look at the Seawolves players. They already know what he's going to do. They start moseying on towards the deadline, the touchline, because they know that's what he's about to do. And they would do it every time. Go back and watch. You would see them mosey. As soon as he got the ball, they'd quit running forward and they'd start going towards the touchline, because they knew what we were going to do every time. And it was obvious. Imhoff was either off the right boot to Elias, who kicked into touch, or to Moroni, who kicked into touch, or an offload to one of the front pack guys who got 1 or 2 meters and stopped. and then he would get the ball and kick it into touch. I mean, it got so bad that we were kicking into touch, and it wasn't even going 20 meters down the field. It was that bad. It was that bad. And Seattle knew what we were going to do every time. And you saw Adrian do it too. And that was the saddest part, was when they'd kick it deep, Adrian would get it, he'd look. If he kicked it forward, he'd kick it to one side because he knew, okay, I'll have one of the wingers chase it down, or I'll chase it down. Or they're going to kick it right back to me. And he did, every single time. He knew exactly what we were going to do. And the team as a whole, they adjusted. They knew going into this game exactly what we were going to do. Now, the problem that I have as a fan of this team was, why didn't our coaching staffs make adjustments? When it was 21-7, that was bad. But when it was like 32, you know what I mean? Like when it got up to 30+7, I'd make adjustments immediately, because obviously what we're doing is not working. But we didn't. We went into halftime down 40-7. 40-7 at halftime. I thought they were going to put 80 points up on us, honestly. And I think if they had wanted to, they probably could. Very have easily put up 80 points on us. But no, they showed a little bit of mercy. They only put 61 up on us. That was real bad. That first half was probably the worst half of rugby I've seen us play all year. And I could say, oh, it's the players. No. When you're getting beat like that, you need to make adjustments. I'm not talking about bringing in other players, but you sit down and you say, okay, this isn't working. We need to make adjustments. Louis, you need to go out wide because James is having trouble on the wing. Campbell was fine, but they weren't running towards him. They were running towards James Fiafale every time when they ran the ball. Louis, go out wide or switch up. And we weren't even doing that. We weren't even making necessary adjustments to stay competitive in that first half. No, we just let them walk all over us. I'm not a coach. That's more Rick Collins' thing, Michael King. Those guys are coaches. I'm not a coach. I'm a fan. But I wouldn't, when you saw where we were struggling, I would have made the necessary adjustments immediately. And I'm not talking about bringing Danny Christensen in at the 25th minute. No. I certainly would have brought him in at the start of the second half. No question. He's 20-something years old. He's a kid. He could have gone the full 80. We saw the change happen immediately when Danny Christensen came in. And the change was that he didn't kick the damn ball away. He'd pick the ball up and run. And you saw Seattle struggle with making that adjustment. Absolutely beautiful try between him and Adrian Boyson all the way down. Speed, speed, speed. Why are we not starting Danny? And then I realized why. Because he doesn't kick the ball away. And we don't have the wings to kick the ball away. We've been having this struggle all year, and it's been a constant thing. Quit kicking the ball away. This was a perfect example of what happens when you don't stop doing that. We were just kicking the ball away every time. It was like clockwork. Elias kick it to touch, Moroni kick it to touch, Imhoff kick it to touch. We don't win games that way. No one wins that way. So what needs to happen? What needs to change? Because we're about to go up against what I think is one of the best fly halves in the entire scrum halves in the entire league, and it's the Samoan international there, Danny for DC Glory with his beautiful mullet. I'm hoping I meet the guy so I can get a side-by-side comparison. Mine's nothing compared to his. But I mean, if this is what you're going to plan on doing, teams are going to do this. Now, you can go back and you can look at the podcast I did, the Rugby Rant episode I did without Rick because he was on the road. I got on there with the guys and I was asked who I think the best team in the league is. And I even posed the question to the members of the Jakl in the intergroup and said, hey, is Seattle the best team in this league? And it's like, yeah, they are. And not just this year. You look at the history of the team. They've won multiple championships. They were at the final last year. They've had one down year. And it was Alan Clark's first year there in Seattle, and they still won 7-8 games that year, 9 games that year. You could say, well, why didn't we have that happen to us against Houston or San Diego? It's because those teams aren't as good. You can say, well, Seattle's in third place. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Seattle will make a deep run. They always do. If they're in the playoffs, they're going to the championship. That's just how it works for them. That's what kind of team has been built there. And it's been built around USA-eligible players like Riekert Hatting. It's simple as that. We're the only team in the league that doesn't have a single USA Eagle on the roster. But it also doesn't help when you don't play anybody that is an American. Other than Sam Gola, name me an American on the team that's gotten a lot of minutes. Campbell Johnstone some, Naposki before he got injured, James Viafale. There you go. Yeah, he is born in America. He's of American Samoa roots, but he is born in America. Louis Satama is American eligible. But we don't have any USC Eagles. We at least had one last year. We had Chad London, who had a few caps with the USC Eagles. We have no USC Eagles, and I'd like to think that if we even had one, would we even be playing them? I enjoy the imports. I think they bring a lot to this league. But damn, man, if you're not going to bring in a big name for an import, what are you doing? Because at least, with a team like Seattle, they have Dan Krill, Jesse Krill's brother. For those of you not familiar, his brother is a longtime Springbok. Dan had multiple caps with the U20 South African team. He's not bad. Is he his brother good? No, obviously not. But he's not a bad player. We don't even build our team around big-name international guys either. Juan Pablo Saiz, I think, has 4 caps with the Pumas. Adrian, I think, has maybe a dozen or so caps with Namibia. And we brought it up in videos weeks ago how we don't have those international players. But then, if we're not going to do it that way, why are we not giving some young guy, a young gun, a shot? Connor Robinson, I think, is a future USA Eagle. That guy should be getting more playing time. That's just my personal opinion. We already know Sam Gola is a future USA Eagle. He continues on this trajectory. We even had the debate. I think Sam Gola could crack a team in the Premiership or the URC. That's just my personal opinion. A lot of people tended to agree with me on that. I think Sam Gola is a future USA Eagle. I think Connor Robinson is a future USA Eagle. Why are we not giving Robinson the minutes? I feel like, and on the outside looking in, and I've had a lot of the parents, do these guys just not like American-born players? Because we play our Canadian players because they don't count as international caps. Now, I'm not saying Liam Murray, Kyle Steeves, and Dewey Katsia shouldn't be getting time. No, they're great players, all 3 of them. But we should be giving Connor Robinson minutes. And if you're not going to play the other American boys, why are we... when was the last time we saw Herman Achenbog dress in a game? Yes, he's South African, I know, guys. Alex Tucci. Aaron Gray. I get it with Aaron Gray. He's undersized winger. He's a sevens guy. But damn, man. If we're getting our asses handed to us like this, why not give these guys some minutes? It's just not working. When it works, it's cool. We have the 1 win on the year against the worst team in the league, and we barely beat them. We should have beat the brakes off of Toronto, and we barely beat them. And it just doesn't make any sense to me that, hey, if this isn't working, why are we not making adjustments? And if it's not working and you don't think it's going to work, why are we not giving players minutes that we haven't gotten to see really all year? I think Danny Christensen should be starting a game. If you're that worried about it, put Imhoff on the bench. You can bring him out in the 30th minute if you think he's not doing a good job and let him finish out the game. Because you've had him do it 78 minutes multiple times. You've had Christensen come in with 35 seconds left in the game. Let them start. If you don't trust them after 25 minutes, pull them. What have you got to lose? We're a one-win team. Points-wise, we're tied with Chicago now. So there's two teams that would be arguably worse than us in the entire league. Don't quote me. I don't know if we're 100% tied with Chicago, but it wouldn't surprise me if we were. If it's not working, why are we not trying something different? A week ago, Baravale had the worst lineouts he had. He didn't play this game. We had Kutsia and we had Robinson. Cool. Right on. That's what we should be doing. Somebody has an off game, let somebody else have a crack at it. Why are we not doing that? I don't have any, and it's not that I question anybody's ability. Like, I don't question Gomez Varda at his job. I don't question Rora at his ability. I don't question Adrian Boyson. I don't question Sam Gola, Lucas Burr. I don't question Juan Pablo Saiz, Revel, any of these guys. But I do question Pedro Imhoff and Ticho Elias. I do question their ability at their job. Because it's so cookie cutter. You know exactly what they're going to do every time they get the ball. Now, I will say this. Initially, I was not happy with Ticho and his kicking. His kicking has gotten better. And that's cool. Right on. It's good to have a good fly half that can kick. But as far as playing on the field, like, dude, they do the same thing. They're both so one-dimensional. Why are we not trying something else? We've got, do we have options at fly half? Really? No. I mean, Alejandro Torres, that's really about it. You got rid of our only other option at fly half, and you look at what he did. You put him on a team like that, and watch how good he was. Adrian Carlson was amazing Friday night. Not my man of the match. I give that to Hatting for the hat trick. I would also probably put Dan Krill in that argument as well. But, I mean, guys, I don't know if I doubt the coaching staff even watches these videos, but guys, you got to change something because this shit is not working. Pardon my French, but this shit is not working. And it's going to start equaling in people not wanting to go to goddamn games anymore because, yeah, nobody wants to see this crap. But with that being said, we usually do 3 stars of the game at the end of this towards the end of this video. I will bring up my 3 stars. My number 1 star goes to a try scorer and Adrian Boyson, the Namibian international, who last year he came in later in the season. Rora was playing 8 quite a bit. He came in, moved into that 8 spot. I've noticed a bit of an adjustment at scrum time. Rora has been moving to the back and Adrian's been moving up to the upper row. But Adrian has been putting in proper shifts all year long, and he's been playing, like, full games. And, I know he's getting ready for the World Cup because Namibia qualified. And I don't know if it'll be a battle for that number 8 spot between him and Jan Conradi there in New England. But Adrian has just been playing his ass off this year, so he gets my number 1 star. My number 2 star goes to Danny Christensen, the assist on that try. As soon as he came into the game, the dynamic changed. I mean, I think that's why we didn't put up 80 is because he started attacking. Because we had nothing to lose. And my 3rd and final star of the game goes to the 2 try scoring Moroni. He wasn't really the best, but 2 tries get you a star in my book. And there's really not much else to say about the team other than that. Obviously, we'll be welcoming DC this coming weekend. Those of you get out there, I believe Tracy Gray, Aaron Gray's mama, will be in attendance. She is super cool. Her son is basically LeBron James to her, so it'll be good to see her out and finally get a chance to meet her. We'll have the Tito's ready for you, Ms. Gray. But that's really all I've got to say for this one. We will obviously be having the pregame video as lineups getting announced, and hopefully, the next one of these types of videos I can do, it's like, oh, we won or we barely lost. Blah, blah, blah. It won't be we just got the brakes beat off of us. But until next time, I hope everyone stays safe. Once again, this has been the Jakl Den podcast made by the fans, for you, the fans. Cheers, guys.